Hey guys, Wedge here. I'm going to review another headset for you guys today. Today we're going to take a look at the Sennheiser Game 1 headset. This headset has been on the market for quite some time. I think it originally came out around 2013 or somewhere around there. It used to be about a $250 headset. Now you can find this usually about 150, sometimes a little less. I know whenever I looked earlier this week, Best Buy had the PC version, which I'll explain the difference, on sale for I think 139, something like that. And basically, the difference between the PC version, I think the full fledged one, is basically with the PC version, it comes with this cable right here that has, it's kind of all jumbled up. It's a very long cable. I think it's like a 3 meter cable. But anyway, it comes with this cable right here that has the pink and green adapters that you need for most sound cards on PC. Now you can buy this little thing right here, which is an adapter that allows you to plug in and use it with, say, a iPhone, a Switch, an Xbox, a PlayStation, what have you. On the other end, and this is the same for all of them, I don't know if I can get this any closer, but you can see that cable looks a little different, right? That little end. It's because it's proprietary. Unfortunately, this is one of the cons of this headset that I'll talk about. Go ahead and get into is this proprietary end. So if you happen to break this cable ever gets a short in it, anything like that, you have to buy this particular cable either from Sennheiser or get an off-brand. From what I saw on Amazon, there's not a whole lot of people that make off-brands. The cheapest one I saw was maybe around 15 bucks. This cable through Sennheiser runs about $30 to $35. So keep that in mind whenever you buy these things. It is a braided cable, so it is not rubber. It's not flimsy. It's not cheap. It doesn't tangle. I've actually got some things tied up as far as like a knot here, very loose knot, basically just to keep the cable not so long. Because originally I was using that before I ordered this cable from Amazon, which they also make, that has the proprietary end and then simply a headphone jack. The one thing I don't care for on this cable is it is shorter, which is nice. That's actually preferable. The one thing I don't like is I don't care for the L shape. I know that this typically keeps from a cable getting shorted out at where it plugs in, because they typically say that one that just comes straight out, is easier to get a short in it, or tear or break or whatever. This just gets on my nerves because I have my hands underneath the controller and I feel like I'm bumping it all the time. But it's a very minor thing. This cable did cost me about 30 bucks through Amazon. So again, runs about 30 bucks for a replacement cable, so take care of your cords. Let's get on to the headset. So what is the big deal with the Sennheiser Game 1? The big difference here is that on the Sennheiser, you can see these little designs right here, these little markings. Those are slits. This is actually an open back headset. So what that means, most of your gaming headsets are what we consider closed back. So in other words, it's a closed fixture on the outside that houses the earmuffs, and sound does not typically leak out. It basically isolates you. That's why you see a lot of headsets that are gaming headsets that talk about being noise canceling, noise isolating. It's because they're closed back. That's what they're designed to do. Nothing wrong with that design. However, with a closed back headset, what you tend to find is that the sound stage, and what sound stage is basically the area that you can hear. So like your virtual surround, I won't say surround, but your virtual area that you're hearing in the game, whether it be gunshots, footsteps, whatever game you're playing, or music, or movie, what have you. Basically, that's your sound stage. So the wider the sound stage, the bigger the sound, and the better you can pinpoint where things are coming from, even if you're listening in stereo. I don't fall for the surround sound gimmick of digital. I've got Dolby Atmos, and it does sound good for some things, but I can still pinpoint steps on a game better in stereo than I can with Dolby Atmos, Dolby, surround 7, blah, 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 blah. I've used them all. Trust me, don't fall for it. Stereo is still better. So, anyway, so these have open back. So the benefits to open back is the soundstage is larger, meaning that it's easier to pinpoint footsteps. It's easier to tell where sounds are coming from, because you're getting air into the muff, and it just changes the dynamics, okay? The bad side of having an open back is that, first of all, number one, you can hear everything that's going on outside of these headphones. So if I'm talking to you while you're wearing these, you can hear me clear as day. Now that's actually good whenever you're wearing them, because these don't have a built-in mic monitoring feature. Well, they maybe do, but it's very minor. It's not an active one anyway, it's a passive. But the good thing is, because you can hear anything that's going on in the world outside, you can hear yourself speak. So I don't have to feel like I'm yelling. I can actually monitor my own voice because I can hear it through the open back design. The other bad thing about an open back, though, is that this causes sound leakage, because basically this is a speaker and the sound is also going out this way. Not as much as it's going in, but it is coming out as well. So people that are sitting beside of you can actually hear whatever you are watching or listening to or playing or whatever. Very minor. I mean, it's not going to be as loud to them, but they can still hear it. So if you're on somewhere like a bus or something like that, you don't want to annoy somebody, you probably don't want to wear something like this, because they're going to be able to hear everything you're doing. Now, the earmuffs are made out of a kind of velvet velour. I'm not usually huge on velour. I had actually bought a pair of velour ear pads for my Bayer Dynamics, and I actually returned them because I don't know, they just kind of rough. They rub weird on my ears, and I know it's probably just me because most people prefer it. These, I did not have that problem. These are very soft. They're very comfortable. They're not overly soft. They're not the softest earmuffs I've ever felt, or ear pads I've ever felt, but they are very soft. They're comfortable. And comfort is one thing you'll hear me talk about with this headset a lot. Because the padding is good. It's got the same kind of padding up top. I know you really can't probably see that. Yeah, the contrast is pretty terrible. I apologize. But this right here, that's the padding. Again, nothing super fancy. It's soft enough. It's kind of the velvety velour. On the inside of the ear pads, nothing special, just a red fabric cloth. There's no sort of design. And on the Game Zeros, which are the closed back version of these pretty much, there's like a Sennheiser logo. Nothing but aesthetic. Doesn't change anything. As far as the build quality of these, and this goes back to the comfort, these are made out of plastic. Kind of surprising whenever you look at the price point of these. You look at most headsets that cost upwards of $150, some even in the $100 price range, like when you look at the Cloud series, the Cloud Core, the Cloud X, the Cloud Alphas. Those are all made with some sort of aluminum, even though they are a sub $100 headset. With these being originally about $250, you would assume that there would be some metal or some sort of aluminum somewhere on there, and there's not. These are made out of complete plastic. Some people would say that's a negative. I don't. Turtle Beach has been using plastic in most of their premium headsets for years. I know that may not be the best standard to compare this to, but Turtle Beach has made some quality headsets whenever you get into their higher end, as far as build quality and durability are concerned anyway. So these do flex a little bit. Like I'm not going to twist them a whole lot because I'm not breaking my headset. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to break, but I'm not taking that chance either. But they do flex, so that's good. They are made out of it's a pretty durable plastic. It's not cheap. It's not flimsy. It'll creak a little bit, sometimes, but that's just plastic. It's going to do that. These do not rotate a whole lot, as far as they don't, like, whenever you rest them, they will not rotate down, which is kind of annoying, but they don't really get in your way. One of the downsides of my Bayer Dynamics that I have is the earmuffs are actually round. They're circular, so they jut up to about right here on my cheeks. It's very uncomfortable on my neck. These are much more in the vein or in the style of the Cloud Alphas, the Cloud Cores, where they are more oval shaped, so they kind of have a very low profile around the neck. My cat is going crazy. In case you haven't heard it this entire video, I apologize. She does that. Anyway, so it is made out of plastic. That is not necessarily a bad thing. Like I said, that is actually what helps the comfort, because they are light. These are an extremely light pair of headphones. Whenever I put them on my head and I wear them, they feel so good. They don't go anywhere. They don't really move. I mean, I can, not that I'm going to shake my head while I'm gaming or anything or go crazy and headbang, but if I decided to, I can do that because these aren't going to move. These just feel right. Again, I can hear everything I'm saying right now to you. It's very clear as far as that goes. So keep that in mind if you're looking at this particular pair of headphones as far as the open back design. So again, on as far as the style on head, I really like these because they don't, while they look like a gaming headset, they're not obnoxious. They don't jut out like some headsets. Like I've used the Arctis series, and they've got that nice little headband that goes across, but then you got this big metal band that extends up to like right up here, and it looks like you got like a Martian helmet on or something. I don't know. It's crazy. So the other cool thing is this mic. So this microphone features a mute function. So right here, it comes down. The mic quality is fantastic. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to test it for you, but there are plenty of reviews out there. If you watch people like Blunty, I know he does a review. Hardware Canucks does a review. The mic quality is very, very good. Sennheiser is known for their microphone and their audio, and this one does not fall short. This black portion right here is actually made of a rubber material, and that is where the mic basically is able to flex and, figure out how you want to put it. So it's very, and it stays wherever you flex it to or wherever you make it go, it's going to stay. So anyway, the nice thing about this mic is it does feature a mute function. So whenever you flip it up, you'll hear a click, and now it's muted. So if I'm wearing this headset and I don't want, to talk, or I don't want people to hear me, all I have to do is just take it from here to boom, and we're muted. That's it. Because the inline controls on this, as well as on the PC cord, there's no volume switch. There's no mute function. So you're probably saying, okay, well, Wedge, how do I adjust the volume on my headset? That's kind of cool. On this headset, there's a volume knob right here, this little rotating button, and it's really easy. It's pretty natural. You just simply rotate it. That's all you got to do. Simply boom, rotate. There's very little resistance, so it rotates very easily. There's your headphone jack, by the way, where the proprietary cable goes into the headset, and that's pretty much it as far as any kind of bells and whistles on the headset itself. So how do these sound? The most important function behind a headset, other than maybe the comfort, even probably more so than the comfort, is going to be the sound quality. These sound amazing. These are as close to an audiophile type headset I found that is considered a gaming headset. My Bayer Dynamics are really good that I've got the custom games. However, those are still tuned a little bit more toward gaming, as in the bass is still not quite flat. It can be extended with the bass sliders and whatnot. It still has a little bit of a V shape, not much, but a little bit more of a V shape than say these do. These are pretty flat. These don't, they have bass. That's one thing I was kind of surprised, because I've read a lot of reviews on open back headsets, and I went in knowing that, okay, the bass may not be great on these. The bass is still pretty darn good. They're not going to, rumble your ears, but that's not what I got these for. It still has quite a bit of bass. The mids are good. The trebles are good. I can hear footsteps. I can hear directional sounds. That's exactly what I wanted. So if you're playing games like PUBG, Fortnite, Call of Duty, Battlefield, any game where you really need to have kind of the pinpoint where people are and need to know where your enemies are and where people are coming from, these are going to do great for you. Okay? So I don't think you can really go wrong with these. The biggest thing is the price point. Can I justify spending $150 or even more, depending on where you're getting these from? It just depends. If you've got the money to throw at these, I would throw the money at these versus, say, the Cloud Alphas any day, just because the sound quality is better on these. Now, the build quality is probably better on the Cloud Alphas because they've got the aluminum, so they probably will hold up longer, just because you got metal versus plastic, and that's very true. However, this is probably a better headset in my opinion. The mic quality is better. The sound quality is better. The comfort, in my personal opinion, is better. Now, the Clouds are no slouch when it comes to comfort, and I know that comfort's completely subjective. Most of this is honestly completely subjective, but comfort more so than most. The Cloud series is extremely comfortable, so you're not going to go wrong with either one of those on the comfort level. But these are a really good headset, especially for the type of game I'm playing right now. Like, I'm playing a lot of Fortnite, I'm playing a lot of PUBG, I'm playing a lot of Rainbow Six Siege. So for games where I need to know where my enemies are, these do stellar. You can power these with an amp, but it is not required. Like, these have plenty of sound plugged into an Xbox One controller or PS4 controller. They're powered very easily. They don't require much there. So if you use them with an amp, it's just going to sound that much better. But these are a stellar headset. So I actually got these for a steal. I think I got these for $70. Found a guy that was selling them. He had bought them in, I think, around February, and decided he wanted to go get a pair of Astro A50s because he just wanted to, be wireless. So I got these for about $70, which is stellar. Like, I could not have gotten a better deal on these, period. They work perfect. They work great. They come with a 2-year warranty, so mine should still be under the warranty protection. It should anything happen. Sennheiser is a really good company. They've been around for years. They make quality products, so knock on wood, but I'm hoping that these will hold up. And I won't have to worry about using that warranty or anything like that, and they will last me for, well over the next couple years. They do sell replacement parts for the ear pads as well as for the headband itself. I don't really see the need for that right now unless mine just wear out or whatever. But yeah, so the headset itself is a stellar headset. The only parts, if I have any concern as far as breaking, because I know a lot of people worry about that when they look at a headset as far as, okay, where are the faults or the possible issues where it may be weak and it may be susceptible to break. These little brackets right here that hold the ear cups on, this is a lot of times, sometimes they break right here, where basically, has to bend to go on your head. That's not going to happen with these. These have a very durable, thicker plastic right there. So I don't feel like, it flexes pretty easy, has a lot of give. I don't feel like it's going to break there. The only part I really worry about is this right here. This little arm is very, you can kind of see, it's very thin. I mean, it's still pretty thick plastic, but they've got it contoured because where the ear cup is kind of rounded, it has to fit into it. So it's very thin right there. So I feel like if you were to drop these just the right way, or grab these just the right way, and let's say that this was stuck under something, I could see this possibly being an issue. Far-fetched, but that is probably the weakest point on this headset. Everything else is pretty good. Since it has a detachable cable, you don't have to worry about if your cable shorts out. You can just unplug that one, buy a new one, plug it in, it'll work. The cable runs through the headband, so you don't have any exposed wires around the ear cups like you do on like the Alphas and some of the Beyerdynamics. So you don't have to worry about that as far as a cable, getting in the way or something like that. The cable is exposed behind this ear cup a little bit, but it's hidden by a little rubber gasket, and it covers it all the way up. So again, it's protected. Don't think you're going to have any issues with it snapping or being cut or anything like that. You really have to basically be doing it on purpose in order for that to happen, or be extremely unlucky. So all in all, I do recommend these headsets. Are they going to replace my custom games? Not necessarily. The custom games are still really great, especially if I want to isolate myself and kind of have a closed, very intimate experience or a very intimate setting with my movie or game or whatever, where I'm very in tune to the sound and I just want to tune everything else out. I'll still use those. But as far as if I'm doing any kind of marathon gaming, these will definitely probably be on my head, simply because they're lighter. They're very comfortable, and after just wearing them for maybe 5 minutes, you don't even really notice they're there. They breathe really easy, so my head doesn't really get hot, especially on the, no hot spot on the top, especially around the ears. My ears don't sweat much or anything like that. So, awesome headset. That's all I've really got as far as that goes. Hopefully, I'll continue to be able to do some of these videos. I know it's been kind of slow as far as putting out stuff, but I'm going to try to start ramping up a little bit more with a few more headsets. Then I'll probably start getting into maybe some hardware and maybe even some gameplay videos. So until next time, thank you guys, and I'll talk to you later.